We have a vision. And what a vision is the ability to see that which cannot be seen. That's why we call it vision. It literally lives in our imagination. I say, imagine a world. Imagine. Close your eyes. Imagine a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired, feel safe at work, and return home fulfilled at the end of the day. And what you see in your mind's eye is yourself and the people you love having that experience and those feelings. That is a complete figment of your imagination. It is not real. It is the equivalent of an iceberg. That's what vision is. It's being able to see that which no one else can see because it lies beneath. And when we work with a small group of people who say, I believe what you believe, and we will work together, and what ends up happening is a tiny little piece of iceberg pops up. And a couple people go, oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I'm in. And they join in, and a little more iceberg shows up, and a little more iceberg shows up. And before you know it, everybody goes, it's amazing what you're doing. And you'll say, tip of the iceberg. And the iceberg is huge, and people say, look at all the success you've had. And you'll say, tip of the iceberg. Because that's what it means to wake up every single day to advance a cause. It means that we devote our lives to building that which has not been built, to advancing what has not been advanced, to showing that which is not seen, and not obsessing with the successes we've had and how much iceberg is above the ocean, but how much more work we have to do. And it all started with a tiny little bit of ice sticking above the ocean. A why comes from the past. It's an origin story. As an individual, our personal why it's our birthright. Every single person has one, and there's only one, and it is born out of how we were raised and the values that were instilled in us that made us who we are. And the rest of our lives offering us an opportunity to live in balance with our why or not. Everybody has a why, every company has a why. It's basically the origin story. A just cause is the future. A just cause is about where we're going. The why is 100% objective. You don't get to decide what your why is. It is what it is. You are who you are. Your culture is your culture. But your just cause, you get to determine what cause you'd like to be a part of, what cause you'd like to devote your life or your career to help build. And by the way, you can have multiple just causes. You can have one for your career, one for your family, right? You can be a part of many just causes. And where a lot of, especially young people, put a lot of pressure on themselves, so what's your vision? You don't have to come up with your own vision. You can attach yourself to somebody else's vision. You have to find a vision. Not everybody's visionary, like Jobs or Gates, right? There's only a small percentage of our population that we would call visionary, but we can attach ourselves to their vision and make their vision ours. So you have to find a vision, for sure. So the question is, how do you build a just cause? A, has somebody else already articulated it for you, that you're like, ooh, love the world that they're trying to build, right? We want to do that. We're going to devote our company to doing that. My vision is to create a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired to go to work, feel safe when they're there, and return home fulfilled at the end of the day. That's what I've devoted my career to. And I need you guys to do it. I'm just a guy with a microphone. That's it. Right? But you're actually building the companies that are going to create the cultures that are more likely to create the world I imagine. We need each other. That's why I do these things. I'm looking for the army, right? So you can find a vision. The vision's about where you're going, and it's an ideal. You'll never actually get there, but you'll die trying, which is the point. So in my experience, courage is an external thing. I've had the opportunity to meet people who have risked their lives to save the lives of others. And they didn't have to. They would not have been faulted if they didn't. They were not ordered to. They may have violated orders, in fact, to do so. And I've had the chance to ask them, why did you do it? And almost unanimously they say, because they would have done it for me. And it's the sense that someone has my back that gives me the courage to do something for them. You know, if you're a world-famous tightrope walker, and you wanted to try a brand new death-defying act for the first time, you're going to do it with a net. It's not your ability that gave you the courage, even though you're really good at it. It's the net. It's this external thing that gave you the courage, and you build it. So I think that to live with a servant's heart, to be that leader, that empathetic leader, what that engenders is that people start to believe that you have their backs, that you would do something for them, that you would sacrifice your interests to protect them, and miraculously they'll do it back. And the only thing that makes you a leader is you were the one who went first. You're the one who took the risk first, right? That's the only thing that makes you the leader. Leader is not because you have the rank. We call you leader because you literally led us. You went first towards the danger, to take the risk. You set the tone. And people may have been cynical at the start, and you did it again. They may have been cynical again, and you did it again, and they realized, wait, this is for me. Weird human things happen when they start off with a kind of love and trust back. I believe it's external, and I believe it's based on the quality of relationships, which means it doesn't happen overnight. Like in the military, they do not build trust in combat. It's not when they step off the plane with their rifles in arms where they all trust each other. It's in peacetime where they're training and learning to love each other. I believe that we talk about human beings, we forget we're social animals. You know, there's an entire section in the bookshop called self-help. There is no section in the bookshop called help others. And yet at the end of the day, by ourselves, we're crap. Like, we're just not that good by ourselves. We're not that strong, we're not that clever. But you give a team together, we can lift anything and solve any problem. Not a single person on earth solved any problem by themselves. It never happened. And even if it was their big brain, there was somebody who believed in them, who gave them a break, or funded them, whatever it was, they did not do it alone. And I think it's our ability to foster relationships that underpins the courage we need to do this. Look, human beings, we can't help ourselves but compare ourselves to others. And comparison is the deadliest thing we can do to ourselves, because we will always come up short. Right? All it does is exaggerate all of our insecurities. It's okay to enjoy other people's success, but let them live their lives and you live your life. Oh, and by the way, they're curating their social media. That's not really their life. And so you're making decisions based on how you feel, based on their curated things. I know, I've talked to so many millennials. I know somebody who's out of work, really depressed, and yet she goes and does all these things so she has the appearance of this amazing, successful life. And so you imagine, now she may be making those decisions based on what her friends, who knows what sort of weird, twisted, exaggerated, circle of depression is just forming. Mm-hmm. So go back to the rules of the infinite game. Your friends are there to admire. Your friends are there to say, God, I'm so happy with them. What are they doing that I can learn from? I'll give you an example. So, in my business, authors and speakers and folks like us, we're all comparing ourselves to each other, and sometimes it can get silly and competitive. And there was, sometimes I go on Amazon and check the rankings of my books to see that I still have a job. And now and then there was this one author who I hated for no reason. He's very smart. His work's incredibly good. He's incredibly well respected. I respect him, but I hate him. And I would check the rankings of the people. And when I was ahead, I'd rank him. And when he was ahead of him, right, it would drive me crazy. And I had this weird abstract competition. Same thing, right? Social media happens to be Amazon rankings. Right. Anyway, we were, I was at an event and we were interviewed together on the same stage. And the interviewer decided to let us introduce each other. So I went first. I had to introduce him. And this is what I said. I looked at him and I said, you make me very insecure. I said, because all of your strengths are all of my weaknesses. And every time I see you do well, it just reminds me what I'm bad at. That's how I opened up. He turned to me and he said, funny, I couldn't say anything about you. And now we love each other. Because I realized that he's really good at what I'm bad at. So by me getting to know him and really learning to love him, I'm realizing I'm getting better at those things. And I'm taking more pride in the things that I'm good at rather than thinking I have to be good at everything. It's healthy to grow our own strengths rather than be intimidated by the strengths of others.